Rylen Thunderveil Storm Blade. The scent of lemon blossoms and wet stone always brought Rylen a measure of peace. Here, in the courtyard of the Palazzo Tempesta, amidst the sculpted fountains and creeping jasmine, even the weight of expectation felt bearable. They called me Thunderveil, a moniker earned during the skirmishes against the Corsican pirates, but here, among the Florentine nobility, I was simply Rylen Stormblade, son of the late Maestro Alessandro. My father, a renowned cartographer, instilled in me a love for precision, for understanding the hidden currents of the world. But my heart yearned for something more than lines on parchment. I longed to be the storm, not merely chart its course. Tonight's ball, hosted by the Duke Valerius, was meant to secure a strategic alliance, a marriage perhaps. A stifling prospect, truthfully. But father's depths, they cast a long shadow. Then, a raven arrived, a single obsidian feather clutched in its beak. A summons. Not from a duke, but from the oracle of Volterra. She spoke of a gathering darkness, a forgotten god stirring in the Apennines, and of a storm blade destined to either quell it or unleash it. The oracle's words were cryptic, layered like the frescoes in the Uffizi. The serpent's tooth seeks the sunstone, she rasped, handing me a tarnished silver locket depicting a coiled serpent. My pursuit led me first to Siena, then to the shadowed alleys of Venice, following whispers of a clandestine society known as the Fratelli del Serpent, the Serpent's Brothers. They were obsessed with resurrecting a pre-Roman deity called Nocturne, a god of shadow and oblivion. Each step was a trial. In Venice, I faced their masked assassins in a moonlit chase across the canals, the clash of steel echoing off ancient stone. I learned their rituals involved stealing fragments of the sunstone, a legendary artifact said to contain the essence of the sun god Sol, and using them to open a gateway for Nocturne. The deeper I went, the more the storm within me grew, crackling with energy, threatening to consume me. I found allies, surprisingly, in a network of antiquarian booksellers, who traded information for my unique skills. They revealed the Serpent's Brothers planned to perform the final ritual during the summer solstice, atop Mount Vesuvius. The slopes of Vesuvius reeked of sulfur and ancient malice. The Fratelli del Serpent, clad in obsidian robes, were already chanting, their voices a dissonant chorus. Their leader, a gaunt man named Lucian, held aloft the final fragment of the sunstone, its light flickering with an unholy glow. I crashed into their ranks, a whirlwind of steel and lightning. My blade, infused with the power of storms, cut through their ranks with terrifying ease. But Lucian was powerful, shielded by dark magic. We clashed, a desperate ballet of power and skill. I felt the storm within me reaching its peak, threatening to overwhelm me. Finally, with a surge of energy, I disarmed Lucian and shattered the sunstone fragment. A blinding light erupted, and for a moment, I thought I'd succeeded. The chanting ceased. The air crackled with relief. But then, a chasm opened in the earth, and from its depths, a tendril of shadow rose, coalescing into a humanoid form. Nocturne. He wasn't summoned by the sunstone, but freed by its destruction. The Serpent's Brothers hadn't been trying to summon him, but to contain him. The realization struck me with the force of a thunderclap. The oracle hadn't warned me about how to defeat Nocturne, but about the danger of thinking I had. He wasn't a being of brute force, but of insidious influence. His power lay in exploiting doubt and despair. He began to prey on my fears, my father's debts, my inadequacy, the looming darkness of the world. I found myself questioning my purpose, my strength, even my sanity. My storm blade faltered, its power waning. The serpent's brothers, now freed from Nocturne's control, turned on each other, consumed by paranoia and self-destruction. The mountain itself seemed to groan under the weight of his presence. I was alone, facing a god who didn't need to fight, only to whisper. I had to find a way to rekindle the light within, to silence the doubt. I remembered my father's lessons, precise calculations, unwavering focus. The storm wasn't about destruction, it was about cleansing. And a storm needed a grounding point. I descended into the heart of the volcano, into a chamber of molten rock and swirling ash. There, I found the source of Nocturne's power, a shard of primordial darkness, pulsing with an ancient evil. I didn't attack it directly. Instead, I channeled the storm within me, not as a weapon, but as a conductor. I grounded the darkness, drawing it into myself, absorbing its essence. It was excruciating, a searing pain that threatened to consume me. But I held firm, remembering my father's calm face, the scent of lemon blossoms in the courtyard. Slowly, painfully, I transformed the darkness, not into light, but into balance. The storm within me didn't vanish, but it calmed, becoming a steady, controlled force. Nocturne didn't disappear, but became part of me. A shadow I could control, a reminder of the darkness that always lurks beneath the surface. I emerged from the volcano, not as Thunderveil, the storm blade, but as Rylen Stormblade, a guardian, forever bound to the tempest within. The world wouldn't be free of darkness, but it would have a shield against it. And I knew, with a quiet certainty, that my father would have been proud.